Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Alright guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it, and don't forget to leave us a positive comment in the comment section. And stay to the end because I'm going to read two of my favorite positive comments from previous videos, okay? Now, I want to tell you guys something. You guys already know, everybody knows that Aquarius are emotionally awkward. That's what I like to call it. Some of us do better than others. And most of us become emotionally intelligent as we get older and work on it. If we don't work on it, then not so much. So people often ask me a lot of questions about Aquarius and emotions. I have several videos about Aquarius and emotions and detaching from them and all kinds of stuff. But this person said that they're very confused because they said Aquarius act like emotions are going to kill them. Literally, this was the quote. Why do Aquarius think that emotions will kill them? This person said that in their estimation, Aquarius, they stay away from emotions. They fight against emotions. And we compartmentalize emotions. We do a lot of things with emotions, and some of us are worse than others. My godfather, who's in Aquarius, and y'all have heard me talk about him before, I love him to death, but his emotional intelligence is really bad. It's real bad. So he has emotions, but the way that he handles them, I just be looking like, because I remember doing that myself, and I'm like, not what you want to do. So people are like, why do Aquarius go through all these changes about emotions? They're like, Aquarius are like, almost like terrified almost of emotions. Like they think they're going to harm them or something. And I'm going to tell you something. As an Aquarius, and most Aquarius may not say this to you, or you may have never heard an Aquarius say this before, but many Aquarius have very intense emotions. I've said this over and over again. And these emotions do feel like they're going to kill you. And newsflash, emotions can kill you. How do you think suicides occur? Negative emotions over time lead to disturbing thoughts, and the person is either mentally unstable already, or they become unstable over time and they just can't take it anymore. The emotions, the disturbing thoughts, all of it just kind of meshes together, and the person gives up on their life, or snaps and ends up in an insane asylum, or on medication or something like that. I don't know if y'all really paying attention to how strong emotions can be. I've seen people snap out over emotions. Frustration, anger, sadness. Those emotions can kill you. They can. And they can be extremely detrimental if you don't deal with them in the right way. So for Aquarius, who feel emotions so strongly, especially from a young age on up, we feel emotions so strongly, so we learn from having those feelings, from bad things happening, from being extremely sad, or from being so angry that we couldn't stop shaking and crying. We've learned from these experiences that it is smarter to stay away from them. It's smarter to compartmentalize them. It's smarter to ignore them, detach from them, push them way over there, because it could make me snap. It could upset me. It could lead me down a bad road of depression. It could lead me to anxiety. It could lead me to a whole host of things that are negative. So most Aquarius get it in their mind, okay, I can manipulate, detach, and control these emotions. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So it's not that the Aquarius doesn't understand the importance of emotions or things like that. We just feel them so deeply that we don't like that. We don't like it at all. And I mean, you have to come to terms with it. You have to deal with your emotions, because even if you are Aquarius and you're good at manipulating them, there does oftentimes come a time when you realize that's not really healthy for you. It's not really healthy to detach and compartmentalize your emotions. It's much more healthier to deal with your emotions productively. So instead of crying and falling into a depression, you go to the gym and work out. When you're angry, instead of beating somebody up, you punch on a pillow. You see, you have to, Aquarius has to learn how to express their emotions and deal with their emotions in productive ways that aren't going to get them into a bad situation, or productive ways that aren't going to leave them, in an institution. We have to figure that out. And many Aquarius don't figure that out early. We usually figure it out as we get older, and some Aquarius never figure it out because they just don't want to go in that direction. I don't think I would have figured it out either. The only reason why I figured it out was because I had an emotional breakdown. Fooling with Voldemort and all of that mental, emotional manipulation, I had this breakdown. And everything that was in my drawer, everything that was compartmentalized, came out. And I cried and cried and cried and cried. I cried for a year, maybe two. I was crying every day. I just kept crying. And it was just so much in me, so much hurt, so many bad memories, just so much. And because that happened, and I was drowning in all this sorrow, I had to figure out what to do. I was like, because I was feeling unhinged at times. I was unhinged at many a time, angry sometimes, bitter sometimes, just crying sometimes, suicidal sometimes, homicidal sometimes. I was in these crazy places, and I was like, yo, if I don't do something about this, this is going to destroy my life. So I was like, there's two ways to deal with things. There's productive and there's non-productive. And I had already done all the non-productive ways of dealing with emotion, trying to drink them away, trying to compartmentalize them away, ignoring them away. I had already done all the unhealthy ones. So I was like, I wonder if there are any healthy, productive ways to deal with emotions, and especially the ones that I'm dealing with right now. So that's how I ended up on the journey of emotional healing, emotional intelligence, self-discovery, talking, communication. That's how I landed on that journey, because I was like, it's got to be a better way. But all Aquarius don't come to that realization, and all Aquarius, most of us come to it later, like late 20s, early 30s. Most of us come to it later, unless we were raised like that. And I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised on how to deal with my emotions. I was raised to suck them up. My mother's a Capricorn, so it was like, you suck them up, you deal with them, go somewhere and get yourself together kind of thing. It wasn't, well, sit down, talk about your feelings. It wasn't that kind of a household. My mother is strong. My mother was a cop. So she is not a touchy-feely, therapeutic-y kind of individual. So because I wasn't raised with that, I had to find that later on in life and retrain myself to do those things. And many of them I do now. Depends on the situation. Sometimes I still don't. Some situations come up and I just don't touch it. I just like, And most situations, like with a friend or a lover or my daughter or something like that, those situations I now try to deal with in the manner of the new information I've been given, the new methods and coping mechanisms that I've learned. Now I do that. So you have to understand two things. Number one, emotions can kill you. They can. Every day I thank God I'm still here, okay? Emotions can lead you to a dark place where you don't want to be here anymore. Number two, people have to find out how to deal with their emotions productively. It's not common sense. It's not something that you just know. It's something you have to be raised with or you have to find for yourself. So if you have an Aquarius and your Aquarius doesn't want to talk about emotional stuff, your Aquarius has problems with their emotions. If you have an Aquarius like that, your Aquarius has to learn those skills. So the only thing you can do really is encourage it, discuss it, talk to the Aquarius. You know, we're logical, we're smart. Appeal to logic and say, you know, I've noticed that you struggle with communication. You struggle with your emotions. Do you think that maybe we could work together to find some ways that could be easier for you? Just ask the question. Talk to them about it. The Aquarius might have never even thought about it before. They may have been compartmentalizing and detaching so long, like many of us have, that they don't even know. When I first started doing this work, I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. I didn't even realize it. Aquarius have that ability. It's a very innate ability to detach. So I didn't know how I did it. I had been doing it all that time, but I didn't know how. I didn't know why. I didn't know any of that. That came from the exploration of myself, the soul searching. So if your Aquarius is doing that, they need help in that area, and you're going to have to talk to them about it. You're going to have to encourage it. You might even have to go to workshops and read books and do things with them. But if that's the person that you care about, and if they're open to it, then you can really help. Now, if the Aquarius is not open to it, they don't want to learn about it, they don't want to go down that route, they don't want to touch it, that's an Aquarius you more than likely are not going to be able to have a relationship with. You might have some form of a relationship, but let's say that's your significant other, and your significant other runs from emotional conversations. Your relationship is going to be a shell of a relationship. Honestly, because you're basically the only person dealing with the emotional baggage in the relationship. The other person isn't dealing with their stuff. They're not really talking to you about stuff that's occurring between the two of you. Resentments start to build up. These are the worst kind of relationships. So I always tell people to try to talk to the Aquarius. And if the Aquarius isn't open to it, you got to decide if you want to be in that relationship. I wouldn't stay in the relationship with somebody who did not know how to deal with their emotions, who didn't know how to talk when things happen between us. I wouldn't stay with that person, and I wouldn't expect them to stay with me. As soon as I saw that, and see, that's why I would peep something like that in the beginning. I would peep that before it went too far. I would peep that they had a hard time with their emotions. I would peep that that was something. You know, I would see that and be like, this not somebody who's relationship material. And I would leave it alone. So, like I said before, we're all different, but that's why Aquarius avoid emotions like the plague, because they very much can kill you. And we know that. Intuitively, we know that. We know how we felt. I remember just wanting to give up. Like, it was so many times when I just thought life was just too hard, you know? And all of that was because I wasn't properly processing my emotions. Once I started to do that, I got excited about life. I got excited about day to day. I got excited about what's going to happen next, you know? I didn't keep falling in and out of depressions. Even when something sad happens now, I deal with the emotions and I move on. So it's not easy for Aquarius. And I feel y'all on that. I remember just hurting so bad that I was on the floor screaming, and it was just like it was like going through me in waves, you know. And anybody out there who's ever had a breakdown or been emotional or had somebody die or something like that and it really affected you, you know what I'm talking about. It does make you feel like you're dying. It feels awful. And for a person whose emotions are really intense, like some Aquarius, it does make you try to stay away from it. But you and I both know that the best way to do something or to deal with something like that is just to see it, face it, head on. Okay, this is the problem. Let me break this down. And like I said earlier, that's something that's taught. So that's the good news. The good news is you can learn it. All right, let's look at my favorite comments. Yasmin Gonzalez said, earlier this year, I went on a date with a Virgo, and he was wanting to know where I was at all times and would get upset if I didn't reply or answer a phone call. After that date, I ran. No, thank you. I'm good. Yasmin, you were very intelligent, because that is the beginning stages of control. And control is very often the beginning stages of abuse. So it's very smart to see something like that in the first date or two or whatever the case and dodge, dodge that bullet. Thank you so much for your comment, Yasmin, and thank you for watching. I got one more from Legetta Johnson. Legetta Johnson said, preach, laugh out loud. Lady, preach. February 5th, Aquarius here. So true. We don't play no games with shady people. Aquarius don't play with no shady people. If we peep that you shady, we out. Even shady Aquariuses won't mess with other shady people, okay? We all know intuitively if a person is shady, don't mess with them. And I don't care where that shade is. And shade has different levels. A person could just be shady where they side eye you or make little smart comments, and shady can be all the way to they stealing from you or taking things out your house or telling lies about you behind your back or all kind of stuff. Shade takes on a lot of different faces, from minor to major. So if an Aquarius knows that you're shady, it's a strong chance that we will stay clear of you. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Come back soon because I have a lot more to say. And if you want to contact me, if you want a reading, if you want to leave me a gift, if you want to check out my wish list because you want something from it for yourself, if you want any of those things, if you want to be my patron on Patreon, my email address is all underneath this video. See you later.